My name is Rowan Michael Bettjeman.
My name is Alan Morrison.
And I'm Adam King.
And who are you?
I am the leader of Viva La Dirt League.
Ha! Wow.
Oh, okay.
Well, no, that's really awkward because I thought I was.
And I thought I was the supreme leader of Viva La Dirt League.
Okay, we'll chat about this later.
Yeah,
but now let's just roll with that. Okay?
Yeah.
And so Viva La Dirt League, you have a few different channels and a few different sort of regular shows as such. So one of those is about PUBG. Can you tell me briefly what your PUBG content is about?
So our PUBG content is, we jumped on the PUBG bandwagon really early on when the game was kind of first released into the mainstream, and we just saw this amazing premise but a really broken game with lots of mechanical flaws that needed to be taken the piss out of, and we noticed nobody was doing it, so we just jumped on that bandwagon.
It was also a genuinely really entertaining game. I remember when you first showed it to me, I was like, this is going to be big.
Yeah.
And we thought if we jump on it early, there's the potential that we could be the first people to start making skits about it.
And we kind of were.
And we were, really.
Yeah.
Do you wish now you jumped on the Fortnite bandwagon early?
Well, to be honest, I like PUBG because, I like PUBG and I like doing skits about games that I play. And I don't think I'd ever play Fortnite. It's kind of too cartoony for me.
Do you know what it is? We don't have the visual effects budget to make Fortnite videos anyway, even if we wanted to. There's so much other stuff going on in
all
Fortnite.
The costumes, the building.
The building mechanics, the variety of costumes, the colour. PUBG is just this way more simplistic military on the ground.
It kind of works that it's realistic, so we can kind of do realistic skits.
We can just go into the park and run around in army uniforms, and that's a skit.
Yeah. But it is our original love. It's our true love.
Yeah.
When you started doing PUBG videos, was there one in particular that really sort of took off and blew up, put you on the map, so to speak?
So we did about 20 videos, which all went really well. But when we decided to put all of those 20 videos into one video and release that, basically just releasing the same content, it went absolutely nuts. And still to this day is just getting about 60 to 100,000 views a day for us, and it is by far and away our most outperforming video.
And saying that, when compared to our other content that we have been making in the past, we knew from the first episode when it came out that this was kind of a few tiers above all the other content that we are making and continue to make to this day. But yeah, when the Supercut came out, that was next level.
I guess even just for the normal videos, it is one of those things that PUBG is so ingrained in the current gaming consciousness that everyone's searching it, so it just has the perfect keywords. And when people start searching PUBG Logic, real life gaming on YouTube, our stuff comes up first.
Did you start as a professional operation, or did you transition from amateur to professional?
It's a funny beginning to the channel. What we used to be is kind of not even really too relevant to what we are now.
Not at all.
We started out doing StarCraft parody music videos. Where
I'm extremely proud of to this day.
We were like a StarCraft boy band, and I was the lead singer.
And I was the backup dancer that could never get the dance moves right.
And we got like a relative amount of success from the StarCraft community. It was this real niche kind of, whoa, these guys like this, whoa! And then it kind of died out.
The novelty wore off for some reason. I don't understand why.
Actually, the stuff
because the game died.
The game kind of died, and the stuff just stopped getting views. And we're like, what shall we do now?
So we transitioned from that, producing pretty regular content for StarCraft 2, into doing like one video every 3 months.
Yeah.
For the new series board, which we're still making now. But we just had no real motivation. We didn't know what the channel was at that point. And so I'd say it was really like it wasn't a professional setup at all.
Yeah, and how long ago did you start it?
Well, you guys started it 6 years ago.
About 6 years ago?
Yeah.
And up until last December, so about 7 months ago, it was just a hobby for the three of us. And we all had other jobs. And then, 6 months ago in December, we decided that we'd all take the leap and go at it full time. And now this is our profession. It's a full-time job.
A big old leap of faith, and it's paid off, and it feels really good.
Yeah.
So PUBG has obviously had a big part of helping that final push to professionalism. And now I understand the actual guys who make PUBG, the PUBG Corp, have come on board to sponsor you. Is that correct?
That's 100% correct. But they kind of knew about us, and we've always been on this fine line of kind of taking the piss out of the game a little bit, because we're kind of focusing on the quirks of the game, but they love it, and they came to us and said, can you make 8 videos highlighting this big tournament coming up.
Yeah.
And we'll sponsor you and we'll fly you over. And we're like,
And
Let's do it.
they said we could do literally whatever we want within reason with those 8 videos. Some of the 8 videos we're making for them are still kind of taking the piss out of the game.
We initially wrote up a bunch of scripts that were really kind of going, you guys are the best, and that was the whole vibe that we were like, because we thought we were like, well, they're paying us to do it and they're flying us over, they obviously want these videos of us like worshipping PUBG. And then they were like, what are you doing? This is not what you guys have made in the past, and the reason it's so successful, just do what you want to do. So we've made 8 videos literally mocking PUBG.
That's amazing.
So maybe, I don't know, not fully.
no, not fully. There are a few of them that kind of focus on a few of the quirks.
Yeah.
Even though some of them focus on the quirks of the game, you can still tell the thought behind it is we love PUBG, and that's why we make these videos, even if we are pointing out little holes and bugs with the game.
Absolutely.
So, and I think they can still see that the why we make these videos is from a place of love for the game.
Yeah.
The most obvious example of them being okay with us taking the piss out of a quirk would be the parachute skit.
Yeah.
Probably where sometimes when you land at the start of the game, your parachute can get stuck and you're just stuck in midair and you can't land, you can't start the game, which is hilarious. And so it made a hilarious skit, but and they were totally cool with it.
Yeah. This is the most frustrating thing while people, there's a gun right at your feet and there's all these people just running around like picking up guns and reloading it. And it's one of the most annoying quirks of the game.
And how you've also marked how difficult melee is. Like
Yes.
Yeah, so they need to work on that.
Was that part of the, was that part of the
No,
sponsors?
it wasn't.
No, that was one on we did.
Prior season, yeah.
But I mean, there is, as good as they are about sort of making fun of themselves, there has been a large backlash in the PUBG community against the ongoing bugs in the game. So do you get any sense of how serious they take that?
I think
It's really hard to say. I'm sure, I mean, obviously we don't work for PUBG, but I'm sure that they genuinely want to make a good game. But there are a lot of frustrated players out there at the moment that there's still issues with the game. It's not, it's hard
they've
to say.
addressed a lot of the issues, but not all of them.
It can be frustrating playing it and you're dealing with bugs, but I think one thing people forget is that they're so new. And people are comparing them to like Epic Games, which
Or AAA titles,
which have been around for years, kind of working on crafting, refining.
Yeah.
And these guys are just like scrambling to try and keep up with the massive demand of this game. Whereas I think if it wasn't so popular, they would have been able to quietly just
That
work
is a good
away
point.
at fixing it.
They never expected that they'd get this popular. They released a very alpha game, and a whole lot of streamers, us included, got on board and went, yes, and then everyone in the world was playing it. And they literally had to go from a company of like 30 people to a company of tens of thousands, I'm assuming, just to keep up with it. So it's kind of understandable.
So we can kind of forgive it, but totally also understand how frustrating it is.
So tell me about Germany. So what is the PUBG Invitational, and is it breaking new ground for PUBG?
I think it will break new ground for PUBG. It's their first ever international tournament, and there's a lot of people saying that it is not esports ready, but they're kind of putting all their chips on the table and going, nah, we think it's esports ready, so we're holding the first ever international tournament. And it'll be really interesting to see how it turns out.
Yeah. It's going to be their first ever, is it their first ever official worldwide tournament?
There have been other PUBG tournaments, but there haven't been official PUBG Corp.
Yeah.
How many teams are we looking at?
I don't actually know the
I
date.
think there's 24 official teams. Yeah. So 24 teams from all around the world. And yeah, there's going to be one winner. But we're not playing because we're not that good at the game.
We are horrible at the game.
I'm actually competing, I didn't tell you guys.
Are you?
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah.
This is news to me.
Can you do the Jim Halpert zoom on me?
Yeah, so. Did I not tell you guys?
You didn't tell us this, man.
I'm that good. But anyway, next question.
So there is, obviously you guys are part of the pop culture that's sprung up around PUBG. But there's like the likes of Dr. Disrespect and Shroud, who perhaps have played games before, but now to a whole bunch of fans, they're associated solely with PUBG. And there's other YouTubers and streamers who comment on all sorts of gaming culture. But is everyone that you know of going to this tournament, as well as the actual players?
Well, I mean, I know a lot of people who are going. Wacky Jackie, he makes a lot of like instructional videos in the game. He's going, but a lot of people aren't because it's in Germany, and you have to go to Germany. And if no one's paying for you to go to Germany, then that's a big commitment.
Yeah.
Why is it in Germany? Why not America?
It's a good question. We'll ask them when we're there.
Yeah. Yeah, no, honestly, I have
career,
no
I
idea.
guess.
Yeah, well, no, that's the
Career
thing. South
probably
Korea
good.
should have been, you would have thought would have been the house of the first. Like, there are a lot of, one of our biggest fan bases is from Germany, so if that's any indication of how many people are playing PUBG over there could just be a lot of German PUBG players, but yeah,
And
no idea.
As far as I know, the European servers is one of the biggest servers for PUBG as well.
Yeah.
So maybe they just went, that's where the most people that play are, so we'll get the most people to turn up.
Yeah.
But I'm only assuming that Dr. Disrespect and Shroud and stuff will be there. They'll probably be wanting our autographs.
They will
Probably.
definitely want to
Well, we'll see how we're feeling on the day.
This is what Shroud did when he watched our supercut. He went,
Yeah.
so he,
Which is
he,
a
he
really-
loves us. He loves
For
us.
Shroud, that's a very good reaction.
Yeah.
That was a big moment for me.
Yeah, just to see him go.
That's my ringtone now. Whenever I hear,
Oh my God, he went. And I love it how there be people. I don't know. The only people watching this are probably gamers, or would non-gamers be watching this?
Non-gamers as well.
So for anyone who's not a gamer, I love it how we'd like literally be like fanboying over like people like Dr. Disrespect, who you've never heard of, or Shroud, who you've never heard of, which are just computer game players who are
I'm
great at
already
the game.
nervous.
And if I met them, I'd be like, like meeting like Tom Cruise. It's crazy.
The thing is, it's because Tom Cruise has millions of fans around the world.
Yeah.
And these people that Rowan is talking about have millions and millions of fans around the world. So.
But yeah, you can have these super famous people to these niche people that no one else has heard of them.
Yeah.
My mum won't know who Dr. Disrespect
Yeah.
is.
You'll show her a photo of posing with Dr. Disrespect and she'll just be like,
That's a nice man
why?
you're with there.
Yeah.
Me gay.
Strange beard.
Yeah, strange beard.
Yeah.
Looks like he's wearing a wig.
Observe it.
You mentioned that you've got a big fan base in Germany. Is that pure numbers-wise, not looking at per capita, but is Germany your biggest fan base?
So America is hands down our biggest. But
I
in
think that's
terms
definitely
of-
per capita.
Yeah.
So just for straight plain raw numbers, America.
Yeah.
And then it's the UK and
Germany.
Germany. And then it gets weird. It goes like Indonesia, Philippines, Switzerland,
Australia's up
Sweden.
there. Australia's up there.
Australia is
New
up
Zealand's down there at number like 13 or something now.
Yeah, no.
It's like nobody knows who we are here at all.
It speaks to the international, like, so the game was kind of born in South Korea, but was he Irish? PlayerUnknown himself is Irish or Scottish
Yeah,
or
right.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
Oh, I
went to
didn't
South
see-
Korea, made the game. It's now huge in Germany. And then
It's a pretty
the comedians come
worldwide
from New
phenomenon.
Zealand.
Zealand.
Yeah, I know. What a lovely melting pot this entire ordeal is.
Yeah, it's weird.
We're
It's
just coming
like
along
there's
for the
just it's just the power of the gaming community and the internet and like where games are in general these days. It's crazy that like just one thing could literally get such global recognition and build up such a solid fan base everywhere.
What's the number one thing you're looking forward to at PUBG Invitational?
Business class.
We literally just had a discussion about we shouldn't mention we're going business class.
Rowan!
I'm looking forward to going into my first big esports tournament. This is the first one where, I mean, who knows how big it's actually going to be, but it's 4 straight days, and I think by the last day, it's just going to be this, like, just the most intense. Like, it'll rival any real life sports anywhere.
One thing I'm actually looking forward to is seeing 100 pro players on a map, because when you watch someone like Shroud or Dr. Disrespect play,
True.
they're this awesome pro who's just going kill a noob, kill a noob, kill a noob, kill a noob.
Yeah, yeah.
Whereas if everyone on the map is pro,
Yeah.
what the hell is that game going to look like?
That's a really, really good point.
Yeah.
Because nobody's going to drop in the school and be,
No, and just randomly be like,
It'll be such a different game. Everyone's going to drop, like, I've seen it before, like, drop in real quiet locations. No one's going to be risky.
Yeah.
It'll be such a different style of game
Yeah,
than
yeah.
what we see. People just go, I'm never going to score per start the new game.
Yeah.
Dies again. It's not going to be like that. People are going to be like, all right, land, guys, okay, quiet.
now let's work together. Let's go with this. You get that.
Yeah.
Have this. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Actually, it's going to be real interesting.
It's going to be so cool.
But in all seriousness, I'm most excited actually about just being there and seeing the event. That is going to be the coolest part.
It's going to be cool. Just to see the amount of people who are that amped for PUBG all in one place, literally in a stadium screaming.
Yeah.
It's quite cool.
I'm looking forward to feeling famous again.
Yeah.
Give me that famous feel.
I haven't felt that in a long time.
Not since Armageddon,
Yeah.
2017. Or was it 2018?
2018.
Yeah.
So beating off all the
Oh,
fans.
like the first thing I'm going to
beating
say
up
when
all
somebody
of
approaches me, get away.
Have your sunglasses on, like,
That's what I'm talking about. Like, this world that we live in, we can be real famous
In
suddenly.
the right room.
In the right room.
Like here we are in lovely Basque Park in Auckland, and we've had a fair few people walk past us, and they
None of them have known who we
idea
are.
Who we are. Where if we go into PGI, it'll be like,
I'm just going to be walking around like this the whole time.
The cheeks are going to start hurting after like, I'd say 5 minutes of that.
You want an autograph? 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 Autograph?
Awesome.
We'll see.